exclusive. No other news agency has this story. Imagine having a prison that is so racist that the corrections officers contact me to expose the racism inside of the institution. Let me first start with this element. There's a dreadlock. Let's put it up. There's somebody's dreadlocks mounted to the wall. A black corrections officer reported a Confederate hat and dreadlocks were pinned to a wall in a prison guard's quarters. Okay, he saw this. He's a whistleblower, got in touch with us. This is the Victorville prison in California. I have more, but look at that stunning imagery. Let's put it up again. Those dreadlocks came from somebody. It came from somebody. I got the background. Shortly afterward, he made a gruesome discovery which has not been made public until now. The corrections officer said to us, and I quote, "An inmate reported that his dreadlock was pulled out of his head. It's just too coincidental. I don't know if it was his, but it was too odd to not be his. I made a report about the incident." So what do we have so far? We have an inmate inside of this correctional facility who says, my dreads were ripped out of my head. They ripped it off my head. This CO, this corrections officer, goes into another CO's office or quarters and sees dreadlocks pinned to the wall like a trophy next to this Confederate symbolism. There's more. Let's put up the compound here so people get an understanding of the magnificent size of this facility. At the Victorville Correctional Complex in California, off-duty officers have shot at each other. Yes, that's from them, from corrections officers that contacted us. White managers have referred to their black subordinates with using the N-word. Supervisors pressure their employees into sex. These are all the allegations that made it to indisputable by current and former corrections officers at the Victorville complex. Allegations not only from administrators, but allegations that mocked and celebrated by prison staff. Correctional officers from the prison contribute to an Instagram page as well. We were able to find this IG page. Let's put it up. You see that? According to the sources inside of that facility, correctional officers from the prison, they contribute to this IG page full of sexist, racist, and homophobic posts. This one says, all right, I'm effing bored. I need some stories from your joint for material. Case manager sucks the most amazing ever. The Instagram account linked to employees at the complex shares sexual jokes about prison employees and denies the humanity of inmates. The Bureau of Prisons investigated the account last month in a climate survey. No one has been disciplined or removed due to these posts. In 2019, Victorville paid out 11 million in settlement to current and former female staff for not addressing sexual harassment reports in the prison. There's more. Last month, another current employee of the complex, a black corrections officer, filed a lawsuit for racial discrimination against the facility. You see a pattern? They're not just racist and adversarial to those who are incarcerated in the facility, but they act this way toward each other, according to the officials that contacted us. We do know there's a culture of racism at the facility. The way black inmates are treated, it puts black staff members in a difficult position. You see the mistreatment, but if you say something to the staff or report it, you're accused of being a thug. Who did that come from? That came from Curtis Freeman, corrections officer, Victorville, was willing to go on record with us. Isn't that something? There's more. Only 2 black corrections officers have been promoted to lieutenant, within the Victorville complex since its founding. When was that? Well, 2004. Since 2004. Insider saying, I quote, if we, meaning Black corrections officers, are not in there, things get uglier. They're going to mistreat different types of people, African Americans, Blacks, Latinos, all types of different groups that are in here. It will be worse. If we're not in there, these guys are not going to get educated. They're going to give them ghost trays. Now, what are ghost trays? Let's put them up. Let's put up the pictures. Ghost trays are empty plates that they give to prisoners to starve them, which is against the law. It's against the law. I'm gonna tell you something. There were a whole lot of folks who were concerned about me exposing you all. Let's be very clear. These people are human beings. And you are being paid by my tax dollars in order to provide a service while they serve their time. This is torture. But I got more. Typically, the Bureau of Prisons, they will not publish the identity of wardens. We did find their identities. Put up the pictures. Victorville's current complex warden is Brian Lammer. Nancy McKinney and Jacob Durer are also wardens, okay? How did this story come to us? Why are we reporting this story? Because the situation is so dire and the racism is so extreme and the torture is so corrupt and insane that lifelong federal workers who dedicated their life to the profession of being a federal CO broke rank, broke protocol, broke tradition, broke that blue line and contacted us. Imagine how deep this goes. So now we are on top of it. Now we have information and we are continuing to dig even deeper. If you have more information about what's happening at this particular facility, please let me know. And let me be very clear to any executive at that federal facility, any executive who receives this segment, I am sending this directly to Senator Jon Ossoff, who is the chairman of the investigation committee that investigates you all. All right, Ms. Dahl, thoughts here.
That is so courageous of the correctional officer. And we need people like that because it is the most vulnerable population are inmates because they are literally physically enclosed, are limited in their communication. Almost anything can happen there and we don't know. You know, it's such a protected area that if it wasn't for whistleblowers like this, you know, you cannot do anything about it. And also to your point that this is a federal prison is actually very helpful for the inmates. There's quite a bit of protections. The fact that it is a government facility, as we know, there's a lot of privatization around prisons, which would give them less protection. I mean, still some, but less protection. And so I think that should be part of the conversation as well, that even our federal prisons aren't doing a good job of keeping inmates safe. You know, we are, yes, they had to be punished and put behind bars if they're convicted, but then they become our responsibility. And there is an amount of safety that they are due.
Yeah, and listen, we cannot allow things like this to go unchecked. We are a civilization for a reason. We are a culture, a community, a country for a reason. We are human for a reason. These things cannot happen without our attention and pushback, all right? So I will bring you the update as it comes.